Today we will talk about Lord Shen. Specifically, I want to understand why he couldn't escape his so-called destiny and what his story wanted to convey. Let's start with why Shen's prophecy was inevitable, because it's a fascinating detail few people noticed. I personally only realized it when I delved deeper into the topic of the video. Before that, like most of you, I thought that the world of Kung Fu Panda was magical, so things like future predictions and visions seemed quite natural. But at the same time, we see Uguay, a liar, who deliberately claims that he has seen a vision of Tai Lung's returning to initiate the process of his own return. Without those words, Shifu wouldn't have sent the goose to check on Tai Lung, denying him the opportunity to escape. So this prophecy also seems suspicious to me. It aligned more with logic than with unavoidable destiny. And what can I tell you? Her visions are indeed magical. Yes, unquestionably so. But why couldn't Shen prevent it? And this is more question of logic than an inevitable fate. It's actually difficult to explain, and the topic constantly circles back on itself, but try to understand what's in my mind right now. When she shows the prophecy to Shen's parents, the Shen at the same time is observing it. In other words, he is participating in this prophecy by watching it, and in this way he influences its outcome. The prophecy knows and considers that he is currently observing it, so it shows that Shen will be defeated by a panda because it knows that Shen will go and kill all the pandas in the village, thus provoking the event that will create the panda who defeats him. Because firstly, this is the reason why Po managed to become the Dragon Warrior. Without those tragic events, he wouldn't have had the chance to become him, because he would have been in a completely different place. Therefore, Shen fought against the prophecy that already considered the fact that he would fight against it. That's why he couldn't defeat it in any way, because he was moving straight along the path, under the illusion that he was doing everything possible to make it happen the other way around. For the first time, that is challenging to understand, but when you fully realized it, you understand that it's a brilliant concept, because it's not about destiny, but rather about how the magic of prophecy broke itself, creating a truly inevitable process. The only thing I can explain is why the prophecy chose this situation for Shen. I can only guess that Shen already feared pandas before this, or the prophecy simply considered his bloodthirsty nature, making it the most likely chain of events. In any case, this idea is incredible and I really enjoyed this concept. It presented a more logical perspective. The tiny glimpse into the future will essentially change your future and create a paradox, where the very fact of seeing it means that your future now will be different. You will never know what your future was before it. If you take a look, you irreversibly change your future. I feel slightly like a genius for having devised such a complex thought, and I hope I explained it simply enough for you not to be very overwhelmed, but still I suggest contemplating it, because it essentially shows that any prophecy wouldn't work if it existed, of course. It would alter your entire life or do nothing at all, depending on whether you believe in it. As for Shen himself, he is obviously a person with a very sick psyche. He is just pure villain, a bloodthirsty killer with maniacal ambitions who values only his own life, which he clung to so desperately that he brought himself to its end in this way. I have a significant grievance against his parents, who simply kicked him out after everything he did. It was a very toxic and selfish decision. As the king and queen, they were supposed to take care of all the residents and the overall well-being of the world. And Shen deserved a very harsh punishment for what he did, much harsher than this. If we consider his interactions with Po, it was much more personal. It was the only time when Po fought an enemy primarily as himself and not as the Dragon Warrior. While the other two villains was growing and destructive evil, this was a personal struggle because Shen brought him immense pain. He is very visually detailed as a character, and I like his design the most among all the villains in Kung Fu Panda. The metal elements during the fight look visually very cool. For example, example, sparks from his iron claws scratching the ground. Can I say Shen is a cool villain? Of course, he is an example of high quality villain. Nothing extraordinary, but still I like his overall concept. He fulfills his assigned role perfectly. Moreover, he is a much darker villain, and DreamWorks showed this very hard and heavy topic to usually child audience. Back then when I was a child, I didn't even know what this all about, and how much really Shen was the horrible villain.